Legs crossed, back straight, eyes closed. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Deep, long breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Feel that power of you controlling your breathing. That power that's available to you all the time, wherever you are in life. That power to reconnect to your greatest gift right now. Your presence, your being. Your infinitely intelligent being. The same stuff we're all made of. And with that stuff that we're made of, we can control the most powerful supercomputer in the universe. Your mind. But only you can do it. Only you can control your own mind. So let's do that right now, and let's see the future. Today, our time together, let's see ourselves doing the best we can on every single exercise and stretch. For this is not only the gym that we have available to us right now, in this space wherever we are, but it is also the gym of life, where we grow our minds all the time.
paradise they couldn't capture that bright infinity inside your eyes. 매일 밤 내게 날아가 꿈이란 것도 잊은 채 나 웃으며 너를 만나 Never ending forever baby. 너란 사랑으로 수놓아진 별내 우주에 넌 다른 세상을 만들어주는 girl 너는 내 별이자 나의 호주니까 지금 이 시련도 결국엔 잠시니까 너는 언제까지나 지금처럼 밝게만 빛나줘 우리는 너로 따라 이긴 밤을 수놓고 너와 함께 날아가 When I'm without you I'm crazy 자 어서 내 손을 잡아 We are made of each other baby You are my universe and I just want to put you first
Zalgiris net. He didn't get the ball he wanted, but he's got it back here. Oh, extraordinary from Sargent, and it did cross the line. An astonishing finish.
Good morning, guys. One of the most amazing things we can do as human beings, as Maya Angelou reminds us today, is we can turn our struggles into triumphs. We can take defeats, losses, pain, evil, and through the power and control of our mind, we can turn it into our greatest victories, our greatest moments in life, our greatest service to others. So let's remember this advice from Maya Angelou today. It's up to you. If you are willing to look at some of the moments in your life that have caused you the most pain, the most darkness, and use your powerful mind, your thinking, and go perhaps alone and go into deep thought as she did to learn from other human beings, you can flip it and turn it all around and create the most powerfully positive force in this world that comes from you and is shared with others. Let's apply this today and forever. Have a great morning, everyone.
These next 5 are just tactical things every leader's got to remember to do in order to allow that, that forum for people to support what they create, for having those vision decisions, for making sure there's alignment and autonomy, for making sure that you're embodying it and showing it to people, and ultimately making sure you're managing the energy and the resilience of the groups. So here we go. Practice number 1 is you must establish the rhythm of the teams. You've got to establish the rhythm. And what that means is, let's say you're running an organization. The rhythm of the organization results in two ways I want you to think about it. There's an internal rhythm, the way that you meet, the way that you set goals, the rhythm of planning your quarter or your OKRs, your KPIs. It's all the internal rhythm of the things that you do to function and run the business, right? Then there's the external rhythm. That is your release rhythm. That is your launch rhythm. That's your marketing rhythm. That's the public-facing publicity rhythm. It's what the world sees of you. Now, those two rhythms are sometimes different. They're different in organizationally. They're different in families. They're different in how you might run a new team versus an established team. But it's so important that you as a leader take that on the helm of like, oh, what does that need to look like? And you won't know, unfortunately, until you practice principle number 1. People support what they create. I'll give you an example. In my company right now, we're added a whole bunch of new people, and we're still trying to figure out, okay, what's this new rhythm going to look like? And so the new team has to come in and see the rhythm we're doing now, and then we've got to adjust and pivot to the new team to establish the norms. You all know this from storm and forming and norming in team research experience. Well, our job is to figure out, okay, what should that rhythm be on across the company, like your all hands meetings and processes, to what each team or each organizational unit does, or how you're going to improve. Families have to do this too. So you're a parent, okay, what's your family rhythm? What do you do Monday through Sundays? What are your rituals? What are those time slots that you're going to repeat? You might have a rhythm that you have with your partner or spouse. You go out to date nights on Fridays, right? Or you might have a rhythm that you have with this child versus that child in order to create that connection with them. Everything has to be thought of in terms of a rhythm or a ritual or a patterned calendar slot in order for everyone to feel like, oh, we're moving in unison here. When leaders don't establish or work to establish with their teams or their culture or their families what the rhythm is going to be, everything feels random all the time. Everything feels like we're fighting fires, fighting. It always feels like we're fighting fires, we're in emergency mode, and we're going to burn out. And so I see this all the time, and it's the hardest part because you as a leader often don't know what the rhythm needs to be yet. It has to happen in motion, which is why it's so important to be a good listener. So many leaders come into new companies, and when they come into new companies, I recently, I think it was 2 quarters ago, helped a CEO transition into a company where they had 12,000 employees. And I got brought in by the board because he was in trouble. And so I got brought in, his 360 evaluations from the whole team. He'd only been there like 6 months. Everyone hated the guy. And I couldn't, it took a while to figure out. Very likable, emotionally intelligent, fun, smart business person. And I'm like, what is going on? And what I found out was when he came into the company, he said, well, this has to be our rhythm. Here's our quarterly goals. This is our yearly goals. This is how we meet, and just imposed a rhythm on an existing team. They weren't ready for that. And so it was like a revolt. And for them, they got used to doing something. This whole thing changed everything. It was too fast. And if you're an organizational leader, you know that. That's super hard. It always happens. Every company goes through it. Transitions in leadership are always difficult, always challenging. But your job is to be aware of that. And your job, if you're the person who has that vision decision, you have to work really hard to establish that normal rhythm, normal meeting cadence, normal way about trying to achieve a goal, normal way of managing a project, normal way of meeting a quarterly, stretch. You have to establish that, and you're probably going to need help with it. This is a great distinction between where leadership and management diverge.
Here's the goal from a long way out. Oh, it's a sensational strike from Malawi. Unbelievable goal from Gabadinho Mahango.
Good afternoon, guys. How's it going today? Are we taking our defeats, are we taking our struggles and turning them into triumphs, or at least thinking about it? If we're not, or haven't had some success today, don't give up. This is where belief and determination steps in. This is where you have to remind yourself of how powerful your thoughts are. So go back at it again. If the day's not over for you, or if you are simply thinking about something that has happened, remember, you have a chance to learn from it now, but you have to believe that you can learn from it. You have to never give up on thinking about how you can learn from it. And that will turn this defeat, this loss, this pain that you may be going through, this challenge, it'll turn it into a victory. And it'll continue to build and build. But just don't give up and continue to believe that you can do it. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Mr. Buffett, how can I make $30 billion?
Start young. The big thing about it is we started building this little snowball on top of a very long hill. So we started at a very early age in rolling the snowball down. And of course, the snowball, the nature of compound interest is it behaves like a snowball of sticky snow. And the trick is to have a very long hill, which means either starting very young or living to be very old. I would do it exactly the same way if I were doing it in the investment world. I mean, if I were getting out of school today and I had $10,000 to invest, I'd start with the A's. I would start going right through companies, and I probably would focus on smaller companies because I would be working with smaller sums and there's more chance that something is overlooked. But I mean, you have to buy businesses or little pieces of businesses called stocks, and you have to buy them at attractive prices, and you have to buy into good businesses. And that advice will be the same 100 years from now in terms of investing. That's what it's all about. And you can't expect anybody else to do it for you. You've got to learn what you know and what you don't know, and within the arena of what you know, you have to just pursue it very vigorously and act on it when you find it. And you can't look around for people to agree with you. You have to think for yourself.
I started off investing at a really young age.
How early?
7. and which is just completely bizarre,
Totally.
right? But here's the thing. I was obsessed with money as a kid. So when I would go and visit my grandmother, all I wanted to do was play Monopoly. It was my favorite game in the whole world. And my parents hated playing with me because I would always win. So when I would go visit my grandmother in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, she would do whatever I wanted, and I wanted to play Monopoly. So at 7 years old, the other thing she would do that my parents wouldn't do, my parents are very mean. No, I'm kidding. I would want to go to McDonald's. So my grandma would go, you want to go to McDonald's? Well, go to McDonald's, right? We could go to McDonald's twice a day even. It was amazing.
Whoa.
So 7 years old, I'm at McDonald's, and my grandmother says to me, she leans forward and she says, David, I'm going to teach you how to play Monopoly today for real. I go, what do you mean? She says, well, you love to play the game of money. How about I teach you how to play money for real? So she taught me a lesson at 7.
This is not my 7-year-old experience.
She taught me a lesson at 7 that, by the way, all of you can teach your kids. You can teach yourself. Because at 7, I got it. She said at 7, she's like, there's 3 types of people in the world, and I'm going to explain it to you right now. The person right now who's working at the cash register has a job. That job pays minimum wage. At the time, I think it was like 85 cents an hour. Literally, that was minimum wage was. She said, it's a very hard way to make a living. And I feel for those people. You should always appreciate them because they work so hard, but it's tough to build wealth that way. She said, the second type of person is somebody like you who comes here and eats and spends money. You're called a consumer. And everybody does that. And then the third type of person is the person who gets rich. There's a person who actually owns McDonald's. And she said, if you own McDonald's, you can become very wealthy. I'm like, Grandma, how would I own McDonald's? So she says, well,
I've got a plan. I'm going to have Big Macs.
She's like, I'm going to teach you. So we went home and she took out the Wall Street Journal. Remember, I'm 7, but she opens up the Wall Street Journal. She circles MCD. For those of you who don't know, MCD to this day is still the stock ticker symbol for McDonald's. She said, now I'm going to teach. So she showed me the price, but that price was yesterday. So she said, that was yesterday's price. Now I'm going to teach you how to know what today's price is. This is before the internet. So she brings me into the family room, puts me in front of a TV screen, and teaches me how to read a stock ticker symbol. And she says, every time you see MCD go by, call out the price. That's the price at that moment. She says, tomorrow I'm going to take you down to a stock brokerage firm, and we'll buy you a share of McDonald's, and you will own this place. Every time you come here now, you'll make money from yourself. Every time your friends come here, you'll make money. This is how people in America get rich. And my grandmother at 30 was poor. She didn't have a college education, sold wigs at Gimbel's department store, wow. And through investing became a self-made millionaire over her lifetime. Wow. Passed those lessons on to me, my father, my sister. My family's now been in the financial service industry for 50 years.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because the thing that saved me as an entrepreneur was watching the stories of other successful entrepreneurs, and I learned from their advice, I learned from their motivation, and honestly, I have no idea where I would be if I didn't have those videos to inspire me. I still need them for myself today too, and I hope that they can inspire you as well. So today, let's learn how to master our money from some of the wealthiest entrepreneurs in the world. Enjoy. Rule number 2 is learn how money works with Grant Cardone.
If I did it all over again today, the first thing I would learn today is the money game. I believe this is the single most important thing your staff can learn, your executives can learn, your financial person, your CEO. By the way, the person, your CFO, your chief financial officer, they don't even know anything about finances. What they actually, let me change that. It's not that they don't know anything about finances. What they know is actually one of the people holding you back. The KPI, the return, we're not getting a ROI on this investment. The return on investment is terrible. This is not a good return. You know, you got to understand, they're counting money. They're not creating it, right? So our expenses are too high. We need to reduce our expenses, and we pay salespeople too much money. At our company, number one most important protected group in the company is the sales team. I think we're gonna overpay anybody. If we overpay anybody, it is the guy and the gal that is going out bringing in the kill. That's right. Okay, so the income line, man, this money thing, this money game, this is how a financial statement works. Income, expenses, net. Okay,
It's like I'm living a dream, but it's how everyone feels. We all unite with one feel. So let's wave our hands. We can sing, we can dance. We are strong, hold on tight. From afar we unite. Ah yeah, ah yeah, here we go, ah yeah. This is the time of our lives. Ah yeah, here we go, ah yeah. This is the time of our. This is the time of our. Ah yeah, here we go, ah yeah. This is the time of our lives. Ah yeah, here we go, ah yeah. This is the time of our lives. I love this moment right now. No one can take it away. So let it happen and how. It's why I cherish each day. So let's wait. can sing, we can dance, we are strong. Hold on tight from afar. We unite.
Here we go.
Ah, yeah, ah, yeah. Here we go, ah, yeah. This is the time of our lives. Ah, yeah, ah, yeah. Here we go, ah, yeah. This is the time of our lives. Ah, yeah, ah, yeah. Here we go, ah, yeah. This is the time of our lives. Ah, yeah, ah, yeah. Here we go, ah, yeah. This is the time of our lives. What we see, destiny. Realize now we all know the greatest. Ah, yeah, ah, yeah. Here we go, ah, yeah. This is the time of our lives. Ah, yeah, ah, yeah. Here we go, ah, yeah. This is the time of our. They say.
Mbappe once again on the swivel. Oh, majestic, magical. Mbappe. Taken away.
Good evening, guys. One of the most exciting things that drives me every single day to continue living, laughing, and loving my way to infinite mind wealth, and the reason why I'm trying to share my journey in life with you in the hopes of helping you, is because I know that we can take our struggles and turn them into our triumphs. We can take our pain and turn it into our greatest pleasure. And I want to share with you my personal story briefly. The reason why I'm so passionate about the power and control of our minds and how I believe it's possible is because I've had challenges with regards to my mind. I've had struggles. I've had pains, defeats in life, but I'm using them as fuel now. And I want you to as well. And I've learned from so many people that have done that. So if they can do it, we can do it. So let's continue that as we're on our path. Have a great evening, everyone.
See, in 1990, Joel Barker wrote a book. It's called Paradigms. He said to be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm. Now, I had no idea what a paradigm was. And you might ask yourself, do you really know what a paradigm is? Do you understand how the mind works? Because the paradigm has something to do with the mind. I knew nothing about it. And the man that encouraged me to study this put me on a track where I just kept going from one great mentor to another. A paradigm is nothing but a multitude of ideas that are fixed in the subconscious mind. And so here we are, as hard as it is to believe, 20, 30, 50, 60 years later, school gave us valuable knowledge. However, school never taught us anything about paradigms. Therefore, we frequently do not do what we already know how to do. Now think, superior knowledge, think about it. Inferior results, what does that do? That causes confusion and frustration. Now think about this for a moment. We've got great knowledge, but we know nothing about the paradigm. So watch here. Here's the drawing. There's the model. There's all the knowledge we got in school. We've got it packed in there. But you know something? It doesn't equate to the results we're getting. You're going to find absolutely brilliant people getting very bad results. You're going to find people that are brilliant. They know exactly what to do, but they don't do it. Why? It's the paradigm that controls the behavior.
Need motivation? Watch the top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because the thing that saved me as an entrepreneur was watching the stories of other successful entrepreneurs, and I learned from their advice, I learned from their motivation, and honestly, I have no idea where I would be if I didn't have those videos to inspire me. I still need them for myself today too, and I hope that they can inspire you as well. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Bob Proctor, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy. Rule number 2 is earn more money.
I want to talk to you about money, about earning more money. And I don't care what profession you happen to be in. It really makes little difference as far as the subject is concerned. I have learned, this is an educated opinion, it's something I've learned over a long period of time, that the earning of more money is only about 5% strategy, 95% mindset. Now, why do I say that? Well, I was given this book when I didn't have a nickel to my name, Think and Grow Rich. My life has changed dramatically since then. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Then I got a hold of Robert Russell's book, You Too Can Be Prosperous. Here's an original copy from 1915 of Wallace Wattles' book, The Science of Getting Rich. Now, The Science of Getting Rich is the book that inspired Rhonda Byrne to make The Secret, which has been seen over 500 million people all over the world. And you know, none of these books spend much time talking about money. They almost spend all of their time talking about you, the reader, and your mindset. You see, I know a lot of wealthy people. I have earned millions of dollars in my lifetime, and not by accident, and it's not that I was done well in school. I went to high school for 2 months. And I've met many people who have earned millions of dollars who have no formal education. Earning a lot of money is not luck. Earning a lot of money is really getting your mindset. You've got to know your worth and then ask for what you deserve. Hill points out in here, he said, if you believe hard work and honesty alone will bring riches, perish the thought it's not true. Riches, when they come in huge quantities, are never the result of hard work. Now listen carefully. Riches come, if they come at all, in response to definite demands based upon the application of definite principles and not by chance or luck. Now you've heard.
And here we are again. Back to where it all begins. Where it all begins and never ends. That source, that oneness, that consciousness, that awareness. That we know is in all of us. That power to determine, to control our minds. You see, nobody else, nothing else in this universe can do what you do every day. In the gym of life. Only you, human being, only you, infinitely intelligent being, can do the ultimate. Only you can control your mind, your thoughts, and therefore your feelings. But it takes a lot of hard work. It takes, first of all, believing that you can do it. If you don't believe in yourself, your mind health, your chance at mind wealth is not possible. But that's not the way it was meant to be. You were born to win. Control over your mind, your thoughts. To have and be all you were meant to be.